Alrighty, it is time for part 3 of the last 2 GTA videos I've made, explaining it from start to finish. So on the last one, and I stopped the video after the Polito score. So we're gonna keep going from there, and hopefully reach the end this time. So now we're gonna start with the Polito score's alternate method. So I found out this involves Michael having to break into Fort Zancudo, get past the military, and head into the control tower, and go all the way to the top, up where you'll find a minigun. If you save the game so many times and you spawn back up there, you can get more ammo for the minigun. Then you go deep into the Polito score, or just like that. Next we have the mission Derailed, where Michael and Trevor hijack a train. Trevor's the one hijacking it, and Michael has to follow it to the train bridge that goes over the river and get the evidence out of one of the cargo, and get out of there before Merriweather catches them. They do end up catching them, but they chase them down the river until they've been lost or shot down by Trevor. Next, we have Monkey Business, where Michael, Franklin, and Trevor have to do a mission with Dave Norton and Steve Haynes. And Trevor comes in on his cargo bot that he stole from the military, and while Michael goes in with Steve and Dave, breaking into this plant, where they have to get this special chemical, which Michael says will make him the most dangerous man in the world. So he takes it, and they plan to get out, and that he gets a security breach in the building, where they have to shoot down all the security in that building before anyone gets wasted. Only for Steve Haynes to stay behind, shoot himself in the leg so he can pass as a double agent, while Michael, Franklin, and Trevor got away. Next we have Hang 10. This is where Trevor goes back to Floyd's apartment one last time, only for him to kick him out. Then Trevor hears a familiar voice inside there, and it sounds like a woman. And I think that might be Floyd's fiancée, Deborah. So he kicks the door open, and he comes in unannounced. All the while, Deborah is telling him to leave. And Trevor just won't listen. She's doing everything she can, and then he wants to kick Floyd out. She thinks Floyd was on Trevor's side the whole time. Then he calls Trevor a weird friend, and that starts to spark him a little bit. All of a sudden, and she loses her mind, goes to the kitchen and grabs a gun. Floyd grabs a knife, and then the camera cuts out. Next thing you see is Trevor walking out of Floyd's apartment covered in blood. That gives you an idea of what Trevor did. And then Wade's down there to greet him. And Trevor decides to take Wade to the strip club, where he'll set up shop as his new safe was in the manager's office. And he just was weight off on the floor and gives him to two strippers. While Trevor goes to seek out the manager's office. Next, we have surveying the score. This is where Michael, Trevor, and Franklin and plan out the score. Next, we have bury the hatchet. This is when Michael Michael's just chilling at home without his family. And Trevor comes in and has a little chat with him. Then Trevor starts to get a little suspicious. Then he assumes that Michael's messing with him, and Trevor wants to go figure out the secret. He literally flies all the way out to North Yankton with Michael following him. He makes it out there first. And Michael follows him to the cemetery where he finds Trevor digging into Michael's grave. Only for him to find Brad down there, who he thought was locked up in a maximum security prison the whole time. Then these Chinese fellas show up, which I guess must have went with Michael on the plane. And Trevor takes off running while Michael gets stuck in a shooting match with these monstrous people. And he soon gets kidnapped by them. Next, we have the mission Pac-Man, and this is where Trevor, Lamar, and Franklin do a mission on getting some cars all the way out to Paleto Bay, and these are cars that they've brought to Devin Weston. And they soon start getting followed by a police. But thankfully, Franklin had some spike strips to slow them down. Trevor and Lamar are driving the truck. Franklin's in a car that was once attached to that truck. And they get out to Paleto Bay, and where they meet with Molly, who's Devin's legal counsel. And next thing you know, they got scammed. Next we have Fresh Meat, which is the mission where Franklin saves Michael when he's being held hostage by the Triads, which is a group of Chinese people led by Wei Chang. Trevor tells Franklin about everything, and Franklin decides he's going to go save them. Franklin goes down to the meat factory where Michael's held hostage. And Franklin goes in armed with whatever gun he can find, and he shoots down all the Triads. He frees Michael from the meat hook and gets him out of there just in time. Next mission, we have the Ballad of Rocco. So Rocco is this weird. Oh, I don't know what he's really supposed to be doing, but he guys mess with Mr. Richards. So Frank so Michael arrives at the studios and sees Rocco beating up Solomon Richards. And Michael chases him in his car, and Rocco and his crony is get killed in the process. Michael comes back to the studios. Solomon Richards has a surprise for him. Michael has soon become the producer of his own movie, Meltdown. And Michael feels like he's finally done something with his life. So he's proud of himself. Next we have cleaning out the bureau. In this one, Michael meets with Dave at the garment factory. And then Steve arrives. I forgot what happens after that. I assume that he start doing stuff to clean out of the bureau. Next, we have my personal favorite mission, reuniting the family. Reuniting the family, Michael redeems himself to get his family back. Starting with Jimmy, who randomly appeared in his house and apologized to him. Michael tells him that he's sorry himself and he wants to redeem himself. Jimmy decides to give him a chance. Then they go seek out Amanda, who's at the bean machine right near their house, and she's with Fabian. And Michael tries to say sorry, but Fabian is just being an idiot. Then Michael tries to be easy on him, but Amanda just tells Michael to hit him. Michael follows her orders, grabs a laptop from a nearby table, and just whacks him over the head. I'm sure that felt good. And Michael finally gets to say he's sorry. And all he wants is a shot. Amanda tells him that to meet up with the others at Dr. Friedlander's. So, after that, Jimmy and Michael get in their car and go find Tracy, who turns out to be at the tattoo parlor, or talking to Laszlo. And when they get there, they walk in. There's Tracy, and Michael does a little cosmetic work on Laszlo. Piercing his ears, his nose, and his eyebrow. Rips his shirt off, snips his hair, and gives him a tattoo of a penis. Then the three of them leave the tattoo parlor and take a long drive out to Del Perro to Dr. Friedlander's office. When they get there, Michael tries to be cool with Amanda, who he's trying to focus on. And Amanda's just not having it. And she thinks Michael does not have any center. And Michael starts to get upset, and it quickly turns into a shouting match. In the end, they calm down, ended the therapy session, and they decided to give it a try. Next, we have Architect's Plan. Frank, and once again, comes back to the construction site and gets some architects out there. I'm sure that's what he actually does, but I once again forgot what he does. Man, I forgot about a lot of these. Next, we have Dotting Dad. This is an optional mission, and this is what Michael gets a call from Tracy. He's saying that she's in trouble, is being stalked by some crazy fan. So they try and find this guy. Michael tries to reason with him, but ends up killing him in the process, which upsets Tracy. But Michael has to tell her that he was doing it for her own safety. She tries to keep it cool after that, but it's still sour about Michael killing him. Next, we have the mission, and that's going to lead us into the Bureau raid, which will involve Michael or one of the others stealing a fire truck. Then you have the mission Legal Trouble. In this mission, and Michael comes back to the studio, and Devin and Molly are there, and Molly tries to take Michael's film reel all offshore. So she takes off for the airport. Michael gets upset and starts to chase after her all the way to his hangar, only for her to make the biggest mistake of her life. She goes in through the back, runs into the hangar, and maybe she should have been more careful because she ran in front of the jet engine and got sucked into it. Then Michael saves Michael saves his film reel, shoots down a few cops, and takes off running. Next, we have the Bureau raid. For this mission, there's two different methods. There's the fire crew, which involves stealing the fire truck I had mentioned, or the roof entry, which means you have to take a helicopter to the roof of the FIB building and come in through the roof and get the stuff and shoot down some of the FIB agents. Next, the wrap-up. This is when Michael meets up with Dave at Court Center. Soon, Agent Sanchez and Steve Haynes show up and try and arrest them. Only for them to have guns pointing at each other. Soon, more people show up. SWAT team, agents, everyone. Then, and it soon turns into a huge shootout at Court Center, with a little help from Franklin. No, did I say Franklin? I meant Trevor. Trevor helped. Now we have the mission Lamar down. Lamar's being held hostage by some ballas at the sawmill near Paleto Bay. Michael, Trevor, and Frank and team up to save him. They get him out. Franklin takes the homie back to his crib down in Davis. Next, we have Meltdown. This is when Michael and Jimmy go to the premiere of Michael's new movie. Jimmy's proud of himself. And Next, you know, Devin and Weston shows up and choose out Michael for what he did, and their house has a special visit. So now there's something bad happening, and Michael and Jimmy go back to the house only to see Merryweather vehicles in the driveway. And Michael comes in and goes in with his gun and shoots down all the Merryweather in the house with Amanda, Tracy. They get just about all of them. Which ended with the three moving out of the house for a few days. Next, we have Parenting 101. This optional mission, and Michael has to save Jimmy, who's gotten held hostage by some strangers because he made some sneery comments. Next, we have Planning the Big Score. So, Planning the Big Score. Just like a lot of the other missions, there's two different versions to this score. There's the subtle and the obvious. If you do the subtle approach, you're going to dress up like the armored security who drive those money trucks. And you're going to be let into the Union Depository where you'll come across a lot of cash and a lot of gold. You're going to take those that will soon get you into a large shootout with police and Merryweather. In the end, you'll get millions of dollars. Like nearly 20 mil. If you do the obvious, you got to take a driller, and you have to sidetrack a train. The driller is going to be used to get into the vault that's under the Union Depository. That will be done by Frank and Michael, while Trevor and Lester are in a helicopter or heading towards Sandy Shore, where the train is. Along the way, they get a little visit from the Merryweather choppers. And last but not least, we have the three endings, starting with ending A, something sensible. This is where Frank reveals his real feelings to Trevor. Trevor betrays him and makes a run for it. Long way, Franklin calls Michael on forms of this, who's on his way as well. Trevor crashes into a gasoline truck. Who Franklin shoots. He shoots the gasoline, setting Trevor on fire. Thus, killing Trevor. Then we have ending B, The Time's Come, where Franklin reveals his real feelings to Michael. Michael betrays him, and Franklin kills Michael. Well, actually, Franklin tried to save him. Michael kills himself when he lets go and falls a few feet to the concrete floor. And next we have ending C, the third way, the Death Wish mission. So this one, Franklin decides he wants to get all three enemies killed. So he teams up with Lamar, or heads to the foundry, where he meets with Michael and Trevor. They shoot down on all the SWAT, some Merryweather, and some FIB agents. Then it decided who they're gonna take down, which would be Steve Haynes, Devin Weston, the Triads, and Stretch. So they called Lester or see if they can get some roundabouts. So Trevor takes care of Steve Haynes, who's at Del Perro, doing a shooting permit. Michael takes care of Stretch, who's at B.J. Smith Recreation Center. And Franklin has to kill all the Triads. Then Trevor gets the job to kidnap Devin Weston. First, he has to shoot down the remaining Merryweather. He kidnaps Devin, puts him in the back of his car, and drives him down to a rendezvous point near Mount Chiliad, where he meets with Michael and Franklin. Gives him a pep talk, closes the trunk, and pushes him into the water. To end this, I think I'm going to talk about one last long mission in the Epsilon mission. This one, Michael tries to sign up for the Epsilon program, which is this special religious organization in Rockford Hills, consisting of people wearing blue, and they have their own language, which involves them saying Kiflam, which I don't know what the heck Kiflam even means, but it has to mean something. So Michael goes through this really long process of figuring out the truth. And he goes through a lot of stuff. In the end, you have two different options. You can either follow them to the spot and get your prize, or you could disobey them. And once you leave the Epsilon building, that's what, and you have to make that decision. Either disobey them and take off the other way away from them, or follow them and get the prize and don't get the money. If you disobey them, you're gonna get like 20 mil out of that. Alright, thanks for watching this. Thanks for watching the 3-step process.